Well, hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Glad to see you all. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Syncro. I will let the rest of the team introduce themselves.
Hey, everybody, it's Tatiana. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy. Nice to see you. I didn't realize I was unmuted. Sorry.
Hey, everybody, it's Hannah. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Yes, this is open office hours. For those of you that are joining for the first time, welcome. Brace yourself. No, I'm just joking. It's fun. Welcome. For those of you joining us again, we're always happy to see you. Couple things just about open office hours. It's really just an open forum for questions, whatever questions you have. It doesn't matter if you are fresh into Syncro or have been with us for years. We're open to answering all the questions that you have. I will say we use the Q&A. We will drop some things into the chat, like if we have links or recordings that will be helpful based upon what we're talking about, we will drop those into the chat. So be sure to click on those while we're in session. They will go away. Couple other housekeeping things you can see, and you heard the lady. This is being recorded, and we tried to get these posted on our YouTube channel same day, if not same day, Monday, and then probably give you a reminder at the end as well, but we will not be doing open office hours next week. We will be off that day, hopefully stuffed full of turkey. So, so yeah, I feel like the last few weeks we have had a dedicated first half with Andy. He's been so gracious with his time, releasing our new policy inheritance feature, which is kind of a game changer and amazing, and everyone seems to really love it. But for today, we're going to go back to our regular flow and just right into kind of rapid fire Q&A. So don't feel like you have to wait to drop your questions there. We're at the ready. So yeah, all questions are open. I don't know if kind of to kick off, I mean, we could talk about the referral program. I don't want to put you on the spot, Hannah, but do you want to kind of give some information around that?
No, I would love to. So for those of you joining us for the first time or haven't heard of this before, Syncro has an awesome referral program. It would be for your fellow friends or fellow MSPs or fellow internal ITs that would be new to Syncro. And so if you do refer them, that then not only would you get $100, but they would get $100, which is even cooler. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just to show you where you would do that. So you can do it from our website. On our homepage, you are able to do it from the resources tab with the referral program. But of course, you're probably living in and out of Syncro every day. And so you can actually do it in the App Center as well. And so you would create your own referral program login. And so I'm going to hit this question mark here, and then that way it takes us to our awesome knowledge base about it. But here you would have your own login so that you could track your own referrals. We would have links provided for you so you could share it on social media or just send it to who you are referring. And then when they get it, they're actually going to see this page so they can enter up information and start with a free trial with us. I'll go ahead and drop this in the chat box for everybody. That way, if anybody has any questions, let us know.
Awesome. Thanks, Hannah. I'll read. Okay, go ahead, Brandy.
My Zoom windows are like all over the place, so I had to dig us up here. Okay, so Christopher says, maybe I'm crazy, but I just noticed that some agents have some that are online show a green dot and some that show a gray dot. And I think I read this before. I didn't read the entire question. I thought the next one was the same thing. I haven't seen a gray dot. I think if it's not filled, if that's what you're referring to, it's just a device that's offline. So I'll show you guys what he's referring to. So Let's just show you this. If you guys are able to see this, so the green dot is just, it's an online device. If there's no dot at all, it just means that it's an unmanaged device. And then if it has this gray circle, it just means that it's offline. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. I'm going to read this one out loud from Scott. I have started using the client screen notes and reminders to take, and I like it a lot. Do you have any recommendations for using these tools? When you say maybe you guys know exactly what Scott's referring to, but when Scott says screen notes, is that the to-dos? Or because I know obviously what reminders are in the customer, but what are the screen notes? Am I missing something? Anyone know?
Oh, maybe just the notes on the client screen. Okay, he said on the client screen. Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That's actually a really great place to have that. So I'll share my screen just so I can show a couple things here. So Scott, that's so great that you shared that with us. Client notes and reminders are super, super awesome. So for those of you not using those, let's go ahead and show them off a bit. So reminders are great. They're going to be really easily accessible here underneath your name. So if you're working in the system and you're like, oh, shoot, I just got to remind myself to get this one thing done today, or maybe tomorrow or next week, you can actually add a reminder. You can look up the customer. So it's going to be on the customer record, and then set kind of your due date. So, okay, hey, I want to remind myself to do this next week at a certain time, provide yourself notes, and then you can actually assign it to a different team member. So if you have multiple team members other than yourself, you can actually assign it to somebody else and then save a reminder. You can see all your reminders in one view. So they are stored on the customer page, but if you want to see them all in one view, like, hey, I need to get this done. What do I need to get done today? You could do that. They can also see them on the customer page, and that is where Scott is also referring to the notes section, which is awesome. So we really want Syncro to be your customer database. If you need to know something about your customer, or a team member needs to know something, that should be right here for them. So that way they can look up the customer and then not only see any like appointments and reminders, but also see any notes that you have for them. And then just to add a little plug for custom fields, a lot of people also house customized data for each customer of what they want to know about each client, also using a custom field.
Super helpful. Thank you, Hannah. Vin says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, good Saturday. It's Saturday for some of you, right? If there's no feature like this, I would like to request it. When a ticket has certain subject, it will run a designated script. And if it can't be done, I would like, is there a workaround? So let me just share my screen. There's not, what you're recommending right now or requesting is not available to say if it has a certain subject line. That essentially would fall in like a ticket automation. If it has a certain subject, then it would run a specific script. But there's two things I can think of for you. So the first would be the automated remediation, and this would be the automated way of doing something. So I'm curious to know what your workflow would be and why a ticket would have a certain subject. So what I'm thinking is it would have that subject because there was an RMM issue. And in that case, I would just say, let's get ahead of it. Let's be more proactive instead of reactive. And we can say, hey, if it has this specific condition, then I'm going to run a script, for example, and you would specify which script you want from your collection here. I could also have this create a ticket. So if it hadn't, this is already going to say, hey, if there's an RMM alert, I want to create a ticket with this subject and I'm going to run a script. So you can do a lot with automated remediations. I would honestly recommend doing that. The other thing I was thinking, and this isn't going to run automatically, but if you want to know that, hey, every time it is a certain type of a ticket, I want to make sure I have a list of items I need to accomplish. In the worksheets itself, I can't run a script. There's not a link to run a script, but I could say run XYZ script so that then you would know, okay, I'm in this ticket and I'm going to go run this script. So that would be the less automated way of doing it, but I would recommend using automated remediations for sure. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that was really, really helpful. And Andy, I still can't copy paste from the chat window. Anyone know of a good IT tech?
Never heard of them.
Nope, no good IT techs, no. I guess on that one, just making sure my go-to is always to like double check if you're using Chrome. I know that that's like the supported browser to be using where copy paste works the best. That's like, I'm not a good IT tech. I'm just good at relaying information that I've heard prior. So I'll relay that one. But if anyone has any ideas there, that would be
I'm curious
awesome.
if it's just the participants, because I could do it. And if like no participants can, then maybe there's a setting on our side. But here's the test. Every single person who's in here right now, try to copy and paste the links and let us know if it works. I don't know. That's interesting.
I did check our Zoom settings. And it does allow, like we have it on where you should be able to copy and paste it. So let us know.
I'm going to read this one out loud and let's brainstorm it together. From Isaac, is it possible to pause or take tickets out of things like stale status? Some tickets are ongoing projects, and having to put in a new date or status to keep it out of stale every 3 or 4 days would clog up those tickets with unneeded notes.
Is it putting the notes based off of the status being stale? I didn't realize it did that.
Well, it depends if there's due dates set. So if there are due dates and it's hitting a due date, it will like be logging that within the ticket. So I'm wondering if my go-to was to go through and look at ticket automations and see if like based on ticket statuses, there were some conditions you could set.
Looks like there is, and I'm wondering if update due date would be helpful there. So
there you go.
If there's a special status like project or something like that, that you could set up an automation to update the due date. And then that way it can add it. Oh, interesting. Add additional hours to it. Looks like it's hours. So I'm wondering if it would be how high we could go here. Might be able to go pretty high here. So I would try this. And then of course you're going to need another status to kind of move it along, but I would try, this would be, I think, the recommendation.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Go ahead, T.
Yeah, this one's a feature request asking for Splashtop to have multiple monitor support directly through Syncro. I haven't heard of this on the roadmap, but I have heard this feedback before, so I'll definitely pass that along. And then we do have quite a bit of people saying chat shows disabled, cannot copy paste from chat window. Scott says cannot copy paste, but the link, if you click the link, opens the browser window and takes you to the page. And then from there, you obviously can do whatever you want. So I wonder, I don't think any of us, I wonder if disabling the chat, because we do disable the chat so that you guys use the Q&A so that we can pick up who's answering which question and stay organized on our side. But I didn't realize that would disable the copy paste. And I also don't know how to undisable the chat because it'll just get kind of messy. I mean, once we do post them on our YouTube channel, we do paste all of our all of the details into the description box of any of the links or any of the notes that we sent. So that would be kind of my next go-to from there.
Yes. Who wants to show automated remediation? If asset has certain custom field, it will run a script. So on that, that's interesting. I'm trying to think about how you'd automate that through automated remediation, but I'm wondering if, because what just by having that custom field, does that mean you ran a script that the output would go to the custom field, and if that was populated, then you would want something to happen and run another script? Or are you saying like, because the other thing I'm thinking, and maybe, yeah, go ahead, Hannah.
Oh, yeah, I'm just not sure what he's wanting to, he or she, I'm so sorry, is wanting to accomplish. But asset custom field is a sub identifier. So just remember in these conditions, these are and conditions. So if a trigger happens on this device and it has a custom field that is something, and then it gives you your answer. So like, okay, this is a workstation is checked. Or I'm not sure what it looks like when there's like just text in there, or like device type is drop down, that then you would be able to go ahead and run a script against that asset.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, yeah, because I think that's where my clarifying question was, is like, it has to be triggered by something. And the other thing, of course, like it wouldn't be automated, but you can run like a saved asset search of everything that has a specific custom field and then do like
That's what I was thinking.
It like, again, it wouldn't be automated, but also I don't think just having a custom field is a trigger and not like to trigger off an automated remediation. So with that said, if it was like, oh, it had low hard drive space plus this custom field said this, now I want it to clean up temp files, totally doable. This though, on the other hand, you could have a saved asset search and like, because they stay dynamic. So you could always be kind of like checking it and then running a script in mass. Just a thought.
Yeah, good call. I have a question here from Scott. It says, I'm using WebRoot agent managed by Syncro. I do not get many alerts. Is there a place in Syncro that shows alerts? If I go to the WebRoot console, I see an alert there. Also, can I send a command to try to clean from WebRoot? Can I do that through Syncro? So I'm going to share my screen. I know that we do have a way to set up an automated remediation. I don't have one set up for WebRoot specifically, but I do have a Bitdefender example. So I would it would be similar concept here. So if you go over to your automated remediation through Syncro, this is what my Bitdefender one looks like. We probably should get an example here of WebRoot, but you could say, for example, trigger category is Bitdefender AV or any other trigger. Again, we were just in the section Hannah was showing, but you could say alert body contains deleted malware, alert body, and or you can use either one of these, blocked malware, and then a lot of people will convert that into a ticket, maybe let the customer know, hey, we blocked a virus for you, something like that. Other than that, the other place that you would be able to see any details regarding antivirus is going to be over in your, obviously, alert section. They'll be listed there, but also if you go over to the actual endpoint and then tab over to the antivirus section, it'll be listed like this. And then again, mine is MC Soft. For some reason, I don't think we have WebRoot on ours at all, but with, it would say WebRoot here and then recent activities. This would be another place to look.
Wonderful. Thank you. No questions in the Q&A right now. And so let's do, who wants to talk about one of their favorite things? Pick a feature, any feature. What's your favorite? What do you like showing? I don't know.
I'll throw this out there. I talked about it last week, so if anyone came last week, let me just go ahead and find the article for you guys, and I will drop that in the Q&A, or excuse me, in the chat box, and let me just share my screen. So this is about making money, because we want it to be easy to make money, right? That's important. This is a new article that we created that will allow you to create searches for every device that doesn't have antivirus. So let's talk about antivirus, and let's talk about how you guys can make quick money overnight. So if you want to create a search, this will walk you guys through how to do this. We can drop this in there for you. But essentially what it's doing is it's saying, hey, let's go create a saved asset search. I'm going to go to assets in RMM. I'm going to click on this saved asset search. This is like the topic of the day. And then I'm going to go to missing antivirus, and I'm going to call this AV opportunity. And I'm going to create a group here. I'm not, because we already have about 10 of these already in the saved searches. But what you can do now is you can pop over into your mailer, and I can identify all devices, for example, that don't have antivirus. And I can tell them why they need it, scare them a little bit if they're not protected into your services essentially. So I'm going to send this, pretend this is AV opportunity. I'm going to send a blast email to all of those devices or to the customers. This can be an email. And then I would just create something with some dialogue about why it's important. I think we give a little bit of example in here. Oh yeah, so this is just an example that you can include there, but blast that to everyone and guaranteed overnight you get some people that are like, oh, I need this. And then two, let me show another feature. This is going to be found in the reports. So I actually created the internal report builder to do like an AV. I'll just open this so you guys can see what it can do, but like AV opportunity. So if you want to create an internal report builder and see in this op or this block, all of my customers combined, how many devices I'm managing that have AV and how many don't, then I've got a good opportunity here. Keep in mind this sample data because I haven't actually generated it yet. In this box, I might want to do the same exact thing for, I think I did antivirus coverage. Yes, I can select a specific customer and then I could show the same information. So each block is going to give me different information and I can say, wow, Larry's business has 25 devices without AV and I need to go there and talk to them about this right now. So there's quite a few different things you can do, but we just want to help you guys with upsell opportunities. That's it.
So good. Thank you for sharing, Brandy. I have a question here from Randy. Says, always good to go over how to add event log monitors and service running monitoring. So I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to take a look at this together. So if we head over to our policies, I opened two of the policy modules, the event log monitoring and the process and service monitoring. So this first one here, pretty straightforward to set up. Just click add new event log policy. And then in here, you can either choose from some of the default queries that we have available, or you can say new event log query, type in whatever name you want, event ID, and then basically create the event log query here. And then again, once this event log policy exists, of course, apply it to the list of assets that you want that policy to cover. So again, make sure that it's enabled here within your assets and policies section on the individual customer basis. And then from there, again, you'll start receiving alerts of those. And then you can also have those filtering into your automated remediation, as we've showed a couple times already today. Very similar to the process and service monitoring here. So again, you can either create a new one. I'll show one that's kind of built out already. Looks like I want to know if Notepad stops running. So you can say, if Notepad stops running, I want, maybe we give it 5 minutes to, not check for it until 5 minutes after startup. If it's not running after 2 minutes, then you can say, I want to automatically start the process. I want to run a system. You can set your CPU and memory usage thresholds here. And then again, you can choose how you want Syncro to respond. You can say, I want it to create and log activity, or you can take all of these settings here and then just with a click of a button, generate an automated remediation to where you can say, if this thing happens, then again, I need Syncro to respond by doing this, this, and this. Let the customer know, let me know. It just depends on the severity of the impact of whatever process or service has stopped or restarted there. So hopefully that is helpful to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am going to grab a question from Mateja. He's asking, is there a possibility to hide price or cost numbers from internal IT staff? Great question. So where I'm going to go is in the admin section. And so your users are going to be in a particular group. Now, if they're in a global admin group, this is not something that you could do, but you could put them into a security group where then you can limit what they can see. And so price and like invoicing, estimating, that's all things that you can turn off for them. And so I would go ahead and explore this section to achieve that.
Awesome. I just was going to read this one out loud. Thank you, Joseph. Regarding the script of the custom field, you can write the if-then logic into the script to check the custom field before taking an action. Then just schedule the script normally to run on any number of devices. It would only proceed with actions if it meets the requirement of the custom field. Hopefully that at least points you in the right direction. Appreciate the help, Joseph. I love that. Thank you for bringing your expertise and being helpful. So thank you very, very much. I didn't click on that link from Vin, how to add process monitor here. Wonderful, cool, okay. What's next? I feel like, bring it, we're ready. We are ready. How about, so my favorite is customizing agent contact forms and like the system tray. Does anyone want to like show that? I don't know. It's my favorite. You don't have to. I'm just like sparking maybe some audience questions here about customizing tray icons. Like how, it's a great question just to see like how are you all using system tray? Like, is your go-to chat? Is your go-to agent contact forms? Like what's the go-to there?
I'm diving in.
Love
So, okay, I like to talk about this. So we're going to go into the policies first, and we're going to talk about setting up different agent contact forms. So the first option is I'm going to go to the policy modules, and I'm going to select the agent contact forms. I love giving a different menu list. You don't just have to give them access to creating a support ticket from their system tray menu. So I will show you what it looks like. But I have a virus, need help going remote, support request, emergency. I think on the one that we show, we do emergency, support request, and I have a virus. What's really awesome about these is, and I know you show this one pretty often, but if they select this option from their system tray menu, I have these settings. You can call it what you want, whatever it shows up as the end user. You can give like a success message. And then of course, if they don't have internet, there would be like an error message. So, hey, it looks like you don't have internet. Give us a call at XYZ. You can choose your custom, your required fields. Keep in mind, if this asset is assigned to an individual contact, it's going to auto attach, which is awesome. But down below, you're going to have some options. So we have it set up to where automatically in the back end, it's going to create it as a virus removal ticket, which means they create this ticket, and on the worksheet, I've got a list of items I need to do. I've seen people do like add new user. So maybe they have a manager that has access to creating that type of a ticket from their system tray menu. And then you have a list of items that you need to do. So this will all make sense in a minute. So we have this to where, okay, great. It's going to become this certain issue type. It's going to be this type of custom field. That's it. If you want to say, hey, all tickets of this type are going to be assigned to a specific tech, that's great. You can do that too. So now let me go back over into my policies, and I'll show you on the system tray menu options for that customer or for whoever is going to have this policy. We have three options: agent contact form, support request. I added some little icons here. And then this is that request form. So the menu title is what it's going to look like for the end user. So we have that, we have our emergency ticket, and I have a virus. Some other options from here might be a customer portal if you want them to have a link to the customer portal. Maybe your internal IT, right? We have a lot of you all, and maybe you want to include a link on the system tray menu for your employees to be able to go to your company website to log their vacation time or time off, whatever they may need to log into on a regular basis. You can include links from here. And what's awesome is you can really tailor to your customers. You can say, hey, what are some places that your employees go to on a regular basis? And yes, I understand a lot of people use Chrome bookmarks, but hey, this is a really easy way for them to click on a link and go to a website. So you just include any and all information you'd like. Would love to see what you guys have come up with and what yours look like. I wish you could just like screenshot a picture and drop it in the chat box, but you can email it to us. We'll show it off. So this is what it looks like. And then let's show you how it looks for the end user. I really, really like the system tray menu. And I've seen you can add page breaks. We haven't done that one yet, or I guess line breaks. So for the end user, there we go. We have support request, emergency ticket. I have a virus. It just gives them a little further control in selecting what type of ticket it is. So I love that. If anyone wants to add anything to it, let us know, or any of you ladies, but I love that.
It's my favorite. And then I think it's crazy as I was showing it the other day and I didn't know you had done the icons and I didn't even know that you could do the icons. And I was like, what is this? And it kind of made my day.
So I didn't really know either, but then I'm like, hey, when we were in here and people started dropping icons in the chat, I'm like, there's no reason we can't do that. So I just went and like searched and added them in there. I don't know if they can be like color or not. Mine are when I put them in there, but they weren't on the system tray menu. But yeah, I like it. And I think that it creates happy users. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten on a call with someone and I ask how their customers reach out to them and they're like, oh, via email or call. And that's what's working. And they want to use that. And I'm like, okay, would you be open to otherwise? Not, I mean, I'll see it, but we really like it this way. And then, a couple minutes later, they're like, wow, it is easy for your customers. It's easier than emailing. It's easier than picking up the phone. It's easier than chat. It's a really streamlined process. And so it makes them happy, which means they're more likely to contact you when there is an issue rather than wait a month down the line when they've had this virus forever or they've had a printer issue forever. So I just think it keeps people happy and it keeps them coming back. And when you're prospecting, that can be one of those options that you're sharing with them is, hey, I can even add this for you and make it really easy. So
I love that. I like also how you can customize it per customer as well, or even like per computer, especially with policy inheritance, it's really nice to be able to drag and drop those assets because thinking about maybe you have that end user that really should not have access to being able to chat you and you're like, nope, turning that thing off. So I like how it's customizable, but I keep talking. I feel like, Hannah, I saw you unmute. Please interject and interrupt me.
No, I was just going to say that that's awesome. But when we're ready, I have the next thing to show off to everybody.
Go for it.
But Randy has a great comment. He says, I like the ticket generation from the system tray. Oh, just what it would assign to the person that opens it. Right now, it only does that if the asset is assigned to the user. You are right, Randy. We passed that along for you. So hopefully we'll see.
It will still show
cool
up
updates
though,
there
on the ticket if they change it down below.
Right.
In a private note. But yeah, I get that.
Yep. And then Randy just has a question about canned responses. Is there a good way to have the chat auto response? So right now the chat can only auto response if there is no activity. So after 3 minutes of no activity, you can set an auto response inside the policy when you set up the chat in the system tray menu. There isn't like an engagement where it just auto responds immediately once someone engages in a chat with you. But remember that you can chat on the mobile app. So if you want to get mobile push notifications or get notified on the mobile app and then jump on a quick response there, you absolutely can. Cool. Okay, so just while the questions are low, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just with something that I feel like has got brought up a little bit more in the last couple weeks with me. And that is really for if people call you and you need to open the ticket. So let's say, hey, somebody's called you, you're going to open the ticket for them. The fastest way is this plus button, and then we want to open a new ticket. Now, in your account, if you haven't set up workflows, it has you first look up the customer. And this is great, but you could do it just all in one foul swoop, looking up a customer, even creating a customer, even looking up a contact. So I have some internal teams where, hey, it's really a contact that's reaching out to them. So they need to look up the contact and then be able to open the ticket. And so you can do that through workflows. And so we have a couple of ones here. If you don't have a workflow set as a default, it's always going to prompt you for finding the customer first and then opening the ticket. So if you would rather do it all in one, that you can do that in the admin section. And so in admin, under tickets, there is going to be workflows. So you can create different ones depending on what you need to do when someone calls. Hey, they're a brand new customer. I need to add them into the system and open a ticket right away. Or, hey, I just want to look up who they are and open the ticket in one page. So I'm going to set this on location one as our default. So then that way, when I go to the plus button and open a new ticket, that I'm not prompted with that customer and then going to the next page. I'm just prompted with, all right, I can look up my customer or contact. So I can even look up a specific contact that's underneath. Oh, Brandy, we got you a lot of places in Syncro here. But you can go ahead and look it up anywhere that you need to for the contact that exists, or you can look up your customer, which is going to be right here, and then be able to open up the ticket right in the same page without having to go to multiple screens.
I was just gonna, I'll grab this one from then. Can you run PowerShell scripts from the tray menu without storing those scripts in the computer? So you can run like command line from, like you can put little command line prompts in the system tray, but if you need your end users to be able to run a script, I know like what you can do is do that via the customer portal. So you could allow certain computers or certain portal users to be able to run scripts. So that's kind of how you would manage that.
You want me to show that real quick, just kind of the difference between those two?
Mhm.
Because I was double checking with someone from our team, because I don't think this, if you're in your policy on a customer per customer basis and you're editing the system tray, just like we were showing you here, you can choose execute a command, and then this wouldn't. I don't think this is stored on the end users. Like it's not storing any type of file or anything on the end user's computer at all. It's just executing a command. So that's one option. Or like Crystal said, the other option here is if you go to the customer portal, you can enable them to run a script on their own endpoint if they click into an asset. So for example, we'll click into this Larry's desktop. I gave Larry the options to clean their own recycling bin as well as restart print spooler. So if they were to run the script again, it's not stored on their endpoint. It's getting triggered from the Syncro side in order to complete, whatever actions those are. So hopefully that's helpful there.
Yeah, thank you. Very helpful. And Randy, yeah, need some love for chat. Would be nice to have it be able to respond to common issues, use canned responses in chat, give a list of questions that users can click on and get info, etc. I've seen this in standard chat clients, so would love to see it in the Syncro implementation. Love it. We will definitely pass that along. I'm going to read this one out loud. This is related to Isaac's question, the last updated field for tickets. How do we disable the red notification when a ticket hasn't been updated in X days? I'd like to disable this in general, not create a ticket automation to remediate. Is this based on ticket preferences or due dates? Because I know you could turn off due dates, but I don't. Does anyone know?
No.
Okay.
I did think the red was tied to the due date.
I think the red is tied to the due date. And I know you can disable the due date. Are you in preferences, Hannah? She's working through it. She's getting there. The due date in this ticket example. Oh, hold on, that just went away. Yeah, the 6 days update is red. Give us a sec. We'll kind of look into that. Is someone reading Ari's question?
Yeah, it was just a comment. He said, I just want to share my new favorite third-party app that integrates with the Syncro API, and I just discovered and implemented it last week. I'm now using Check Central to generate tickets in Syncro automatically based on email rules. He links the website. Say goodbye to manually reviewing your email notifications. Check Central monitors your notifications for you and will let you know when something needs your attention. Before, I was forwarding the email notifications to Syncro as leads and looking through them in order to figure out which ones to process into tickets. Now this process is all done automatically. I love it. I just set it up last week, but it's glorious. I'm now doing network monitoring, backup monitoring, and website insert monitoring all with this tool, and started starting to get tickets generated in Syncro automatically. Figured I'd share the love. I highly recommend Check Central to all businesses who are using Syncro. So that's awesome. I love when people are sharing. I'm truthfully not familiar with Check Central, and I'm going to look into it, but love when people are sharing tools that they're finding and that they're using, and that's making it easier for them. So it's not affiliated with Syncro at all, but thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so I did get some information for Donnie, and Donnie, thank you for sharing that screenshot because I'm sending it to a team member so that they can let me know. So it does look like that last updated time is tied to something specific, and it is a backend automation for how long it stays kind of in that state. So I'm just getting more information for you. And so once I get it, I will update you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. I'll go ahead and since we have 20 minutes left, I'm going to share one of my favorite features through Syncro, which is also related to how to help you guys make as much money as possible, help your guys' businesses succeed, save you a ton of time, all of the good things that we try to create for you guys. If you haven't set up recurring invoices through Syncro, I'm going to just really briefly walk through the easiest way to automatically get paid at the end of the month without lifting a finger. So if that's interesting to you, we're going to spend the next couple of minutes diving into that. So this is one of those things that you would need to set up when you're initially onboarding a brand new customer. You can duplicate from previous invoices. Like if you have a specific way you're billing all of your clients, you can always duplicate an invoice and it'll kind of just build it from scratch from you. But once you create the recurring invoice, I'm going to use Stripe in our example today because that does allow you to automatically process credit card payments through Syncro. So you could say when you're initially building out this template, you could say per this template for Larry's business, we are in agreement that we're gonna build them on a monthly basis on the first of every month. We're going to build them for the work already done or in advance, up to you. And then I'm going to, again, just depends on your billing model that you have with them. If you're billing them per hour, you can pull in pending ticket charges. If not, you can instead use any one of the dynamic counters that we have built in, whether you're charging them a flat fee lump sum pricing per month, where it's an all-you-can-eat type of model. They pay you $5,000 a month up front, and then you're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, something like that. If you're using backups through Syncro, if you're billing on a per asset basis, maybe it's $50 per workstation, $100 per server, up to you. Maybe you're billing on a per contact basis. So Syncro will actually calculate how many contacts you have listed under this customer's profile and add that to your recurring invoice for you and accurately keep it up to date with any of these dynamic counters to make sure you're not leaving any money on the table. So again, any one of these options, again, backup, remote access, if you're billing that for Splashtop to your customers, if you're billing based off of the level of monitoring, 100% up to you. So again, once you build this out, super high level here, once you plug in Stripe into Syncro, you can say that you want to automatically withdraw from a credit card from your customer. So again, Syncro will create the invoice for you on the first of every month, email it for you, automatically accept payment through Stripe, and then all of this will sync over to QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, or Xero for you guys as well. So if you have any specific questions on recurring invoices, if you want me to dive in a little bit deeper into the different types of line items, between all four of us, we speak to tons of MSPs on a daily basis, probably up in the hundreds or even thousands at this point between all three of us. So if you have specific questions on how to automatically get paid for the work that you do, to kind of just cross that off your list, let us know. That's what we're here for. We have plenty of time, still 17 minutes left. Let us know.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey. Okay. Okay, Donnie, I have an update. So it looks like from the information that I'm getting from the team that in the ticket dashboard, the settings that you have in there are also determining the colors in here. So under view and open ticket dashboard, under the gear, that these colors are also the colors that are going to be inside the main ticket module. And so I would look through and the edits here to see if that works for you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I.
Me neither.
Super cool.
Learning
That's
on
awesome.
Friday. Love it.
Now we know. Scott says, is there a Syncro page for backup service? I've not implemented the service, but I am looking into the service. Yes. Yep, we do have backups through Syncro. If you are a Syncro customer, so this, if you're in a trial, you want to be able to have access to taking a look at this. But if you are a Syncro customer, yes, you can take a look at backups, enable it on a couple machines. It's file-based backup right now. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely, I'll show you, share my screen really quick. There should be a setting. If you go over to your admin section, if you go over to your tabs customization, if it's not enabled there, make sure you have it enabled as a actual tab here. And then you'll be able to adjust all the settings that you need from there. I'll also grab another question here. Says, is there a way to automatically bill for contacts with remote access enabled? Yep, absolutely. We automated that for you. I'll reshare my screen here again. So if you go over to your customer's profile and you tab over to the contacts, obviously this is where you enable that Splashtop per end user licensing. So you can say, yep, I need to enable them as a portal user. We need to make sure they have MFA for remoting in. And then right here, you can say enable remote access. It'll give you a warning like, hey, this is going to be specified by policy and additional charges apply. We know that. Okay, yes. So again, they need to have an email. They need to be enabled as a portal user. MFA is absolutely required. So once you have all of that in place, and you have the customer using it, they're super happy with it. Also make sure that you are covering your costs for Splashtop through Syncro. Some people just pass the cost along. Some people add on an upcharge for this service. So again, if you go over to your recurring invoice for this specific customer, you need to go to add line item section here, and then say, yep, I want to use the remote access customer contact counter. Mine says 0 right now because I don't have any enabled. I have 8 contacts, but none of them have it enabled on here. I haven't set up MFA. And I'm not going to do that just because we all 5 of us use this account. So I'll leave that off. But for you, maybe you have 4 out of 8 that are using that remote access option. That number would pre-fill into here. Your cost is $5. Maybe you're charging them 10, and then you add that to the template one time. And again, as their business needs change, as they hire new people, maybe they hire 10 new employees and all 10 of those folks are work from home, and they need to remote into their work computer or whatever it might be, this number will jump up or down dynamically based on any changes that you make, so that you don't ever have to think about remembering to update your recurring invoice. It will be done for you. Let us handle that for you. You have other things to worry about, so let us take care of the counting licenses manually for you.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm just going to read this one from Jordan. In email templates, is there a way to add recently paid invoices to the statement email and or recent payments so that it displays for the client? So I guess a couple things. I was just looking at our email templates. So there's no way to add statement. There's not like a statements tag to add to like the actual invoice that you're sending. And from what I can see, like in the statements, you do have options of it's showing like all the terms and things like that, but not necessarily, I don't think it's super customizable in a way that it's like showing like previous. But what I will say is that they can see all of that from their customer portal. So if they do have access, if you give them portal access to be able to view invoices and payments, they will be able to see that. They can log into their portal and view that.
Yes, and just remember that, if not everybody has access to the portal, just the person who wants to see that information, you can, and you can make sure that you're tailoring it down so that, okay, they're not even seeing tickets or anything. They just really see maybe just recent payments. That's the only thing you want them to see. So you can absolutely tailor that down also. Oh, I'm next. Okay. Anonymous has a question. For automated invoicing, if you set up an invoice with a bill ahead, can you also add any additional charges that accrue in the current or past month? Yes. So in the recurring invoice, there's going to be an option to add any pending ticket charges. So what that is going to do is at the time that the invoice is running, pull any open ticket charges that the client has with you, and you can specify at a specific status. So just where Tatiana was earlier, and sounds like we're talking about billing a lot today. So that's awesome. We want to make sure you guys get paid for all the awesome work that you do. You're going to have this option to add any pending ticket charges. So even though you're billing in arrears or in advance, Syncro will then look out at your customers' tickets and say, hey, does this customer have anything open? And then that way they can pull all of those charges onto the invoice as it runs.
Yep, thank you so much. Quick follow-up on the remote access billing. Sorry if you mentioned it, my headphones died. It's okay, happens. Does automated billing take care of prorates if a user were added mid-month? It will not. What it'll do is it'll bill them for that entire month. So we don't have a way to prorate at this time. So sorry about that. Just let your customer know up front. Like if they're using it that month, doesn't matter how many days, they're going to be billed for the full amount. I'll just read this one from Randy. I haven't looked through it yet. Is there an easy way to add contacts from a ticket? Is there a way to have tickets that come in from a new contact at a customer automatically add the contact, trying to save as much time as possible in tickets? If they email in, Randy, there's two ways to do this. If you go over to your admin section and then go to your mailboxes, you have no, sorry, not mailboxes, email rules, right below that. In email rules, you can say if an email is coming in from this domain, I want to automatically create the contact under the above customer. So that will create a contact automatically for them. Another way to do that is if you're in the customer's profile, you can, if you're editing their profile, tab over to your custom fields, and then you can set right here in this email domain section where it'll say this will automatically create inbound email rules for these domains to map inbound emails that match those to the customers and automatically create subcontacts when a new sender email is noticed. So those would be the two ways that I would take a look at that. Other than that, adding a contact from a ticket, let's just open a ticket real quick. We'll take a look at this one. I thought there would be, yeah, you can choose the contact here. Okay, I swear there was just a button right there. You can also click add new, but that might be this. If you don't have this yet, it wasn't me that spilled the tea, but it looks like this. If this is not available yet, it might be available soon. I don't know. You never saw that button, and this meeting is not being recorded.
Brandy leaves and we still spill the beans. Jeez.
Sorry. I mean, sorry, not sorry, but also very sorry.
Ooh, okay, moving on.
Go ahead.
Anna? Matea is just asking, is there a possibility to have multiple logos associated to the RMM agent or different logo images for different customers? So let me go ahead and share my screen here. So for the RMM agent, that is going to be a global setting. So if you are supporting clients where it should be kind of a more generic icon that sits in their logo, or I'm sorry, logo that sits in the system tray, that this setting is going to be global. So you can't set up different logos for the system tray icon. Where you can set that up is actually on the agent contact form. So if you would like to use a different customer or each customer's logo for their agent contact form when they open that up, that is a possibility. So we wouldn't use the account logo here, but you would use a different URL. Otherwise, in the admin section, when you have your account profile logo set up, this logo is going to the customer portal, it's going to PDFs, and it would also go to the agent contact forms. So the two places where you could change that would be, of course, on your PDFs. So you can make each customer their own invoice template if it should be important that they have their logo, and with the agent contact form. But the customer portal right now is going to be just one logo to be used and the RMM agent.
Yeah, good call, Hannah. Sorry, I marked those as if I took them. So
that's okay.
Green light there. Anonymous says, is there a clean way to pull in to use the pulled ticket charges onto recurring prepaid clients? Right now we have technicians make an invoice when they service a prepaid client so that we always have up-to-date balances since credits aren't deducted until labor is pulled onto an invoice. Or would that not work because the charges wouldn't pull to the recurring invoice until it's generated? I know what you're saying here. I'll share my screen. Yeah, there isn't a way to, technically, I don't think there's a way to re-pull the pending ticket charges once they've been applied to an invoice. So what Anonymous is saying is when you're initially, like if you have a prepaid hour balance for a customer, or we have 5 minutes real quick to answer your question, if you create an invoice from a ticket or just an invoice in general to pull in charges to make sure that the prepaid hours are balanced, you just say make invoice from here, it will already pull those in for you. So then in that section where I was showing on the recurring invoices, that button to say pull in pending ticket charges, there won't be any since all of the pending ticket charges are already on an invoice. Technically, I don't think this is best practice. Technically, if you do remove, like if I was to delete these two labors right here, they would just go back and be added to your pending ticket charges list. So technically, again, this is a total workaround, and I don't know if this is best practice or anything, but something you could consider is just having one invoice running for the customer that you're constantly adding pending ticket charges to, just to balance that, and then just you delete that invoice, they'll all go back into pending ticket charges, and then the recurring invoice will scoop that back up. But I understand that's kind of messy. I'm sorry about that.
No, thank you for that. That's awesome. Anonymous is asking, when a user sends a support request via email portal, can the request be automatically copied to, say, a manager as well as the supporting requesting user? Yes. So if you have the user set up in your contacts, let's say Brandy is the manager and Crystal is the person that, hey, Brandy needs to be CC'd on anything that they submit to us. You can set up Crystal to have a direct report. So here we're going to make Brandy her direct report, and that means anything that Crystal opens, Brandy will be CC'd on.
Lovely. Thank you. The last one that just says URL ? Located on a site file. I think you're referring to the system tray icon option to add a URL. Is that right? Okay. So I think
that was for, I think that was for the logo, no? Like, how do they add the custom logo?
Yes. Oh yeah, I think that might be it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So is the answer, yeah. Okay.
The answer is yes. Yeah, you put it. Yeah, you put a link in there. Yes.
Oh, and not Syncro related. What is everyone doing for Happy Thanksgiving? I like combine those things. Well,
Randy, we're eating.
We're eating.
What we're doing.
It's food.
Lots of
That's
food.
The only thing is on the list of plans is food, and then once we're done, we're gonna eat more food once we're ready.
Do you like stuffing better or mashed potatoes better or green bean casserole? If you were to choose from those three sides, what would your choice be?
All of the above. All of the above in limited portions at multiple people's different houses. I don't know. We don't do turkey because we don't do turkey, so we don't do stuffing. We do like chicken because it's juicier and more delicious. But then there's like 12 different side dishes as well. No green bean casserole. Creamed corn. That's my favorite.
The real question is, what brand of stretchy pants are you wearing? If you have a Costco, they have great stretchy pants, great sweats. It just has lots of room for you. That's what I'll be. I'll be in the Costco pants.
I love it.
I'll need a link after this, Hannah. I'll need a link.
I literally, you know what I do though, and this is just like, like physically it's just not smart, but I end up like fasting leading up to Thanksgiving thinking, oh, I'm going to just be so hungry and ready for all the foods, but
Oh,
then you
no.
fast and then you get full faster. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
your stomach shrinks.
you kind of have to do the opposite. So this year I'm doing the opposite. So this year, instead of fasting leading up to it, I'm eating a lot, just like, so I'm expanding my stomach so that when
Heck
the
yeah.
day comes, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
I love it.
Oh,
Randy said smoked turkey. It's so juicy. Never go back. I have never had smoked turkey.
Me
I
neither.
feel like that would be even more like beef jerky-ish, but maybe not. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about, Randy. You sound like you know. So
have you done the deep fried turkey? Because that does
no.
the trick, Tatiana. Yes.
Heck yeah. I'll have to, I mean, I'll put in the request with the chef, my husband. Andy says top eating tips right here. Synchro's not just for IT. Yeah. I'm here for the food tips. Share recipes, the stretchy pants.
Yep. Yeah, you can see what we talk about in our free time. Okay, well, speaking of that, it is time to go, but thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful week. We'll be back the following week after that. Okay, see you all
Hi,
soon.
everybody.
Bye.